Howdy there guys, my name's Elio, and welcome hopefully to the beginning of my definitive beginner's guide. Now this is my secondary account here where I'm just going through the game, basically just as scummy as possible I would say, and seeing how far I can get with the knowledge that I've kind of gathered throughout the year of playing Eroica. So hopefully you will join me on this adventure here, but if you guys have already checked out my definitive beginner's guide, up at this point where the guide ends is also where I've kind of ended off for the first day, so I figured I would kind of show you guys what I'm working with and what I'm going to be working towards next going on, because like I said before, this account is literally a day old, technically 2 days old because I did log in today, but these are my heroes and feel free to compare. Now I did stop, as you guys will see a little bit later in the video, at a certain stage, and that's not because I was having trouble kind of clearing out that stage. It was literally just because I had gotten off the game for the day. I got other stuff to do, you understand here. But this is essentially my main crew right here. We have Eroica, who I picked as my selective summon, but if you guys haven't checked out that video, feel free to check it out. It's super helpful. Or if you've read the guide, well, you already know that information. So make sure you guys have joined the subreddit and the Discord as well. There's also going to be Say here. He is rocking as my tank. Tanks aren't necessary in my opinion, but I'd never tried him on my main account, so this time I'm kind of dipping my toes into seeing if Say is worth the build or not. There's also Xenia and then also Marion as well. Marion's my healer, and both of these baby girls I ended up getting from the selective summoning pull because I haven't pulled anything else since then, because this is still a day one old account. And yeah, so we're rocking a healer, we're rocking a secondary DPS, even though she does have lovely burns up there. We have the tank and then our main DPS, and essentially what I've done here is just dump in like all of my freaking experience potions from day one into Eroica, and my goal is just to try and get her to level 50 first, and once she's level 50 then I'm going to focus on getting Xenia up to level 50 or 40, whatever her cap is, and then we're going to go from there, because especially in the early parts of the game, your main focus should just simply be getting your units leveled up. I've also went ahead and done some of their runes too, because you get a huge boost the first time that you do the rune dungeons, and this is where she's at this point in time. And then the other characters are pretty similar in terms of their progression as well, which I figured I would just show to you guys here. Xenia looks like she's kind of behind, but we won't talk about that. Same thing with the skill books too. Not too much investment right here, just because skills weren't accessible until I had opened up the certain dimensional rift, which you do unlock in chapter 1 to kind of further the damage and hopefully the utility of your units here. So I can kind of boost up her stuff too, which I probably will do as part of my day 2 adventure here. But yeah, this is what I'm rocking, and you'll also notice that she doesn't have a pre-core on her yet. There's also just like miscellaneous gear on her too, because we're at a stage at the beginning of the game where gear isn't that important. Obviously if you're getting stuck at a stage, it could be problematic for you if your gear isn't up to snuff here, but we're just going through gear so fast right now. I'm not really kind of talking about gear, which I'll probably get into in a later video as we do more of my beginner's definitive guide, just to help you guys get a better idea of what to do here. But I don't really see much of a big prospect of investing in the tier 1 gear outside of maybe the attack for your unit and possibly the speed if you need that attack speed, just because it's costly. It's kind of like a gold sink when literally, you know, 30 minutes of playing you already have a full tier 2 set. Congratulations, you wasted your money here. But I figured I'd show you guys what we're rocking with for the main squad, and I will push these guys further as well. But let's head over here to the challenge tab, and I'll show you guys what I'm working with right here, and you will see where I'm at in terms of the story too before I wrap things up here. But the experience dungeon is still stuck at 1 at this point in time, and then I did boost the gold dungeon up to 2 because gold is going to be a very big money pit for you guys, I'm telling you right now. And then for this guy, I can go ahead and unlock the second level of this, which I would definitely do, and my main focus is just purely on the gold, because gold will always be a sink regardless of what you do, regardless of what level you will be at. Experience you can technically farm out, even though it may not be necessarily efficient, but you can still farm that out and there's a cap on that. But gold, with all the characters that we have, is going to be a very big problem. In terms of the Dimensional Rift, I only have level 1 unlocked, and I've recently unlocked the ones for the lovely accessories, so I'm not really focusing on this until I get to higher levels to kind of invest in my stamina, because we don't want that type of gear For the ancient ruins, I've also mentioned in my beginner's guide that you should be farming each of these stages twice. And also, depending on your team composition too, depending on your selective summon and who you might have pulled, you may be running one of these stages a little bit more than the other, because if you're rocking Malavi and Xenia, obviously you should be focusing more so on the fire ruins to get those baby girls built up. But if you have a very rainbowed bunch like my crew over here, I'm just farming out all of these, and also, you know, just trying to run 2 stages each of the runes, because that's all 5 elements. If you end up pulling a Wraith or someone a little bit further into the future, you are already ready to go with her runes as well. So that's just an FYI, but focus on your main DPS if you want to. If not, feel free to spread it out. Either way, it's going to buff out. And then the same thing for skill books here. If you do have one type of character kind of more towards slasher or more towards shadow, etc., focus on those guys. But once again, I just kind of spread it out, that way my party is having equal growth besides my main carry. And heading over here to adventure, this is where I stopped at. I believe at 121 I did unlock another dimensional rift, which was the skill books, which is a great place for you to kind of stop at and farm. But yeah, we're going to continue on in day 2 past 122, and I'll see hopefully how far the team that I'm rocking right now can push me before I hit another big wall. So yeah, going forward in terms of day 2, I'm going to push and see how far this team can get with what I'm working with right here, outside of doing all of my challenge dungeons, you know, getting my runes up, getting some experience, some gold, kind of skill booking up the characters that I have, and seeing how far they can go with what they have at this point. And as time goes on, I will be adding this to my beginner's definitive edition guide, so keep that in mind if you're kind of reading from that and also looking at this video. The progress on that guide is just simultaneously done with the progress of me actually going through the game of the secondary account here. But hopefully things are kind of summed up for you here, and if you've learned something, feel free to let me know. More videos are on the way, you guys. I'm so excited to have you guys here, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.